Good afternoon, fastball fans, and welcome back to John Miller Field, Denmark, Wisconsin. We're at the world-famous Circle Tap Bar and Grill. That's the New York Gremlins that are out on the field. They're going to be taking on the Oswegan Redmen. New York Gremlins from Clifton Park, New York, Oswegan Redmen. Oswegan, Ontario, Six Nations Reserve, just outside of Brantford in southwestern Ontario. You got to look at the crowd here at Circle Tap on the patio and in the bleachers overlooking the first base side.
Wouldn't you love to have a seat up there?
There's a live look at the concession stands. And Joe Todd, welcome to the booth here, the broadcast trailer. And we've been talking about this New York Gremlins team in Formula One terms. They are Max Verstappen in a Red Bull. They're just that far ahead of the field. They've won every tournament. They come in now with a, 31-1 record. They lost the very first game of the year. They're on a 31-game win streak. They've already played and beaten the Oswegan Redmen early this year at the Simcoe Hill United Chiefs Challenge. And so this will be a rematch, but it's a tall order. And speaking of tall orders, it's Andrew Kirkpatrick on the board for the New York Gremlins. And first pitch in to lead things off, it's Josh Martin for the Redmen. He'll be followed by Mitch Green. Mike Root bats 3. Ryan Davis in the 4 spot. Matt Salt, Wade Kawagashig, then Travis Nevin, Zach Green, and Brendan Anderson in the 9 hole for the Oswegan Redmen. That's fouled off at the plate. Catcher Mike Willis is in the 10 spot as the flex player. Defensively for the New York Gremlins, Matthew Waugh is out on left. Ben Anoka in center. Brian Avery in right. Around the horn in the infield, Jerome Remeke, Cole Evans, Blake Hunter. Eric Ochoa is in the lineup. A swing and a miss, and down goes Josh Martin. Andrew Kirkpatrick and Nick Mullins, the battery for the New York Gremlins. Zenon Winters will be the designated player today. Joe Ochoa was not in the lineup for the opening game back on Sunday. Got to think he'll be in the lineup the rest of the way.
Oh, yes, for sure. He's one of their prime hitters, one of their leading hitters, and a big off the bench, and just a great part of this lineup there.
A big stick right in the middle of it indeed. He'll be batting 4 today for the Gremlins.
Gremlins got here by way of that 8-0 victory over the Northwest Braves. Oswegan beat the Ohio Bombers on Saturday 2-1.
Called a strike to the 2-batter for the Oswegan Redmen, Mitch Green. Mitch has been a member of this team, Joe, for at least 10, 12 years, if not longer. Slap attempt there and foul back to the screen. He and Darren I was just talking to Darren Derricks, and that was on my mind. Darren Derricks, of course, proprietor here at Circle Tap. But Daryl Anderson, Mitch Green, and the coaching staff for the Redmen have done a good job with this team. That's a little bloop out to center field, but Ben Anoka will run in and make that grab. Ben Anoka covers a lot of ground out in center field. There's that old world-famous expression, water covers 2/3 of the earth, and Ben Anoka covers the rest. You'll see him on the run here come in and make that catch in front of Brian Avery.
Well, the great part of that whole play is the fact of reading it off the bat, following it in, and great concentration.
Mike Root to the plate. Mike himself a good game the other night, Joe.
Mike was 1 for 2 with 2 walks and 2 RBIs.
Kirkpatrick works very quick, gets the ball back to the circle, onto the board, gets the sign from Mullins, and goes. That one misses upstairs. He and Mullins live together in Tampa during the week when the Gremlins are not attending tournaments. If you get a chance, listen to the Andrew Kirkpatrick episode of Dust Up, as that one is lacing, and that's the first hit given up by Kirkpatrick and the Gremlins here in the tournament. So a 2-out single in the top of the first inning and erases any question about whether it'll be another no-hitter here on the ISC network. We just came off one as the Circle Tap Dukes 7-0 winners over the Waterdown Hammer in 5 innings. Jorge Segura with a no-hitter. Ryan Davis to the plate, the cleanup batter for the Oswego Redmond. Chases up after that high rise ball from Kirkpatrick. Ryan had himself a good game, too, in their win, didn't he?
Yes, Ryan had the 2 game-winning RBIs, batted 1 for 3 with a double, that double being the key part of that whole scoring sequence. He only had 5 hits against the Ohio Bombers, but they made him count.
Just fouled as it hops over the orange part of the bag, and the safety base in use with this ISC tournament. That rule was passed last year, as was the ability to use the optic cover ball. It's the same ball. It is the K-Master made by Rawlings. Cork core. Same ball we've been using for a number of years in white, now in optic yellow. Swing and a miss. That's actually a foul. Brandon Bloom will check on Nick Mullins. Ryan Davis will give him a pat on the back. Everybody knows the beating that catchers take back there. Mullins as tough as anybody in the game, maybe other than Ryan Boland. You'll see Mullins very active behind the plate. When there's a ball on the ground, he is trotting after it. There's no walking for Nick Mullins.
Just a great leader behind the plate.
Swing and a miss, chases upstairs. 2 strikeouts on the inning. The Redmen get a base hit, but stranded. We'll go to the bottom half. New York Gremlins coming to the plate.
This business was opened in 1965 by my father, Ned Matiosi. Could have walked in here 25, 30 years ago and seen just about the same thing. The process of making this suit takes about 6 weeks. It goes through about 12 or 13 hands as it's moved along the line. It's an old-time place. Making stuff from scratch here in the city at a reasonable cost. It's a very personal type of business.
All right, we're back here for the bottom of the first inning. We got a special guest joining us. It's Matt Palazzo. Fresh off a 7-0 win. Matt, 2 for 3. Matt, it was a carbon copy. Your first 2 at-bats, first 2 hits. Hard-won hoppers out to right field. You guys made short work of things today, and I guess that's probably the game plan, was to get off the diamond as quick as you could.
You know, it was. We had a pretty good game plan going in. Got a couple pitches we liked, and you know, we're able to execute. It's always good when you've got a guy hitting behind you that's got 10 RBIs in a game and a half.
It's outstanding. The tournament, Luiger Pinto is having 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. Just on fire here right now. We'll set the batting order for the New York Gremlins as Matthew Waugh steps in, as he always does, to start the game for the Gremlins. He'll be followed by Jerome Remeke, then Ben Anoka. Eric Ochoa back in the lineup in the 4 spot. Zenon Winters hits 5th. Cole Evans 6. Brian Avery bats 7th. Blake Hunter 8. Nick Mullins in the 9 spot for the Gremlins. Defensively for the Oswegan Redmond, left to right across the outfield, it's Zach Green, Brendan Anderson, and Matt Salt. On the infield around the horn, Ryan Davis, Mitch Green, Josh Martin, Wade Kawigasheg, and Travis Nevin and Mike Willis, the battery for Oswegan. Designated player is Mike Root for the Redmen. Matty Wass probably happy it's not Caleb Keeshig pitching for the Redmen. These two have had a little bit of a rivalry over the last couple of years with some inside pitches.
They have. He's hit Matty a few times this year that I've seen. So I was actually anticipating this first at bat.
Yeah, we were looking forward to seeing Caleb. But Travis Nevin on the board for the Redmen. Hard-throwing right-hander from Nova Scotia. This one upstairs to Matty Waugh. They ask, and no, says our third base umpire.
I think Nevin's got he's got his hands full here. These guys are obviously red hot. He's going to have his absolute best to keep these guys somewhat down. Nobody's really been able to do it much of the year. Yeah,
you guys have played the Gremlins a couple of times in tournaments. Most recently, I wanted to say it's Elkland, as this one is lashed out to center field. On the run, that's over the head of Brendan Anderson. Matthew Waugh up to second base with a leadoff double. Brendan Anderson is about 6'4", maybe 6'5", so getting it over his head is no mean feat. And you see Matthew just to the left side of center, over the head there off the fence, and an easy stand-up double for Waugh, leading things off, and we get to one of, if not the most dangerous batters in the game today, Jerome Remeke. You've seen him from both sides of the field.
Yeah, and we talked about it this morning a little bit. A few of us were at breakfast, and I've played against him so much, he doesn't swing at a ball.
No.
In most of this team, they're going to take their walks, so you do have to get some plate. When you do, they make you pay.
In for a strike, Travis Nevin. He's got some velocity, but this is something that the Gremlins see on a regular basis. You're not going to beat them with just velocity.
No, you've got to know where the ball's going, and you got to keep the ball down and have your defense do some work.
Deep out at second base is Josh Martin. And basically even with the bag is Wade Kawagashig over at first, and now takes a couple of steps back. There's no point even playing the bunt.
You don't have to worry about that.
You don't have to worry about that,
Just
indeed.
watch your teeth over there at first, and yeah, I've been over there a lot of times with Romy up, and it's never fun.
Upstairs, and there's the good eye. We've seen a lot of people chase that pitch today, and you guys saw that firsthand in your game this afternoon. Let's talk about Jorge Segura, a no-hitter.
Yeah, he's got a different mindset come World Tournament. He's one of those guys that really, gets his work in through the year, and then come ISCs, he's ready to go, and he showed it today. He had really good stuff.
He picked up about half a dozen strikeouts over the 5 innings. Is that one to the screen, and Matthew Waugh helps himself to the extra base. But he's the ground ball specialist, right? With his drop ball, and that just happened over the course of the game. Guys beating it into the ground.
Yep, and we've got two good guys up the middle that made all the plays. You saw Jorge get a number of ground balls right to him, couple hoppers. That's his thing, though. We just can't walk guys. So we stress that to him, that we don't need to be full count every pitch. Go challenge these guys. When you're throwing it almost 80 in and out of the hands and on the edge, you're going to get some outs. Yeah,
absolutely, and that's going to be tough for a lot of teams to handle. Is he doesn't get the ball up in the air. Speaking of getting one up in the air, Jerome Remeke, another home run, another 2-run home run. Boy, he just waited for something that he wanted, and like you said, when you bring it in, they're going to make you pay.
These guys are just on fire. It's, you got to respect it, right? These guys are a first-class organization, and for the pitcher, it doesn't get easier now. You've got arguably one of the best players in the game up now. Yeah, and then you've got one of the hottest guys on deck.
Yeah, Bedanoka and then Eric Ochoa. These two, I think, well, maybe Remeke is out in front now with the home runs, but the three of them were actually kind of all top of the charts, right near the top. And I mean, I've known Bedanoka going back to 2014 with the Toronto Gators, and I mean, he batted leadoff for us, and we always knew he could hit the ball out of the park, but he's been doing it with regularity with the Gremlins this year in the 3 spot.
Yeah, he had a big weekend last weekend, and just it seemed like every time he swung the bat, he barreled it up. Again, another guy that's not going to chase.
This one straight up the elevator shaft. That's going to...
Did he catch it?
Did he catch it? I think he did catch it
nice
over
catch.
by the screen. Yeah, good catch over there. We'll get a better look at it as we're a little bit obstructed, but going over to the dugout.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, nice
play.
catch over there by the shortstop, Mitch Green. Good grab. So they get an out. Keep the bases empty for Eric Ochoa as he'll make his World Tournament debut.
We're going to have to talk to Chewy about these batting gloves, though. I'm not sure what's going on here.
Well, we noticed that the other day. There's a couple of guys wearing these high cuff yellow gloves. They look like work gloves.
That's what I was thinking.
Called a strike, and yellow's a little bit off brand for the Gremlins too.
Yeah,
don't you think?
that might be a fine.
You spent a lot of time with the Gremlins. Won 2 ISC World Championships. I was remarking that the last time that I saw you here, you were parking one over the over the beer tent in the championship game. And talk to us about the culture, because we hear a lot about the culture with the Gremlins. What's that like firsthand?
It's unique, man. It's just you've got a number of guys, right? Everybody knows their role. Everybody is tight. You know, you don't see these guys kind of walk around the ballpark in cliques and 2s and 3s and 5s. You know, it's one unit. It's very stressed from the top. There's good leadership over there. And that's only going to get even better now. You know, Reese is around. He's obviously been a captain and a leader for everybody he's played for. But, you know, with Leather and Varmy and these guys and Dr. Bob, it's just, you know, it's first class.
Called a strike to Eric Ochoa. It was great to see Bob Nidick getting honored on Sunday for the ISC Hall of Fame.
Great guy. I mean, he is, you know, I've got to have some really good talks with old Dr. Bob over the years and a couple of heart-to-hearts. He's fantastic.
This one is lifted up, backpedaling out onto the grass. Mitch Green, 4, 5, 6, 17 steps out onto the grass. And you got to hope the center fielder, maybe Brendan Anderson, might take charge there. But that's a young player and a veteran, Mitch Green. You see him backpedaling here and keep going. And that is a very tough catch.
Wind's blowing a little bit out there, right? So, yeah, you'd like to see the center fielder come in and take charge there.
It is blowing out to right field directly. Joe Todd and I were out in the tent for lunch prior to your game, and it is right in your face sitting in the tent. It is more than what it actually seems, I think, from here in the booth, that's for sure.
Yep, our outfielder was saying a couple of the balls were carrying pretty good.
Zenon Winters momentarily bobbled, but the flip to first. But the 2-run home run by Jerome Remeke gets the Gremlins out front. We'll take a break. Coming back for the top of the second.
Does your game need work? Want to get better every game? Every at-bat? You need Lumberjack Sports. Focusing on exceptional quality and providing players with reliable, long-lasting product, Lumberjack Sports brings you in-game equipment and off-field workout gear, designed and tested by top fastball player Nick Shales. Learn from the best. Play like the best. Check out lumberjacksports.ca to put your game over the top.
For the best bear tent banter on the airwaves, listen to Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly. Here's some of the biggest stars chatting with 2 of Newfoundland's own, Jason Hill and Steve Mullally. It's unfiltered and uncensored. Dust Up with Hilly and Lolly, wherever you get your podcasts. Yes, bye.
Back here for the top of the second inning, Matt Salt, Wade Kawagasheg, and Travis Nevin will be the batters for the Oswegan Redmond. Joined by Matt Palazzo from the Circle Tap Dukes, as this a little flare out to right field. Brian Avery pulls that one in. And let's talk about Brian Avery and how quietly over the last 5 years he's been one of the top 5 players in the game.
He's a professional. Playing with him, he's a great teammate. He can play literally anywhere on the field, but probably in the circle, and he does it extremely well. And then obviously the way he hits, right? He's got an ISC MVP. He's just always a guy that comes up in big spots, and you just know something good's going to happen. Brian's a great player.
Called a strike to Kawagashig.
He's not that good at golf, though. He'll tell you he is.
Everybody's got a weakness, eh?
He's actually pretty good.
Upstairs from Kirkpatrick.
He's a lot better than Barn.
Yeah, but is that saying anything?
No. So good playing behind Cheesy, too, because, as you know, he gets the ball, he's back on the mound, and he's going.
Yeah, we talked about that in the top of the first. He is so quick out there, so efficient.
Yep, there it is.
Called strike 3. Wade Kawagashig is down on strikes. That'll bring up the pitcher, Travis Nevin. The other night in that 5-inning no-hitter, Andrew Kirkpatrick threw 59 pitches in 5 innings. That is a model of efficiency. 12 pitches per inning on average.
Him and Mully, that's a pretty good battery there. They know each other extremely well. And, now, Cheesy stayed with Mully for a while, when he gets over here, and some training, I'm sure.
Yeah, they talked about that on the podcast that they did with the Dust Up guys just a couple of weeks ago, and Joe and I listened to that on our drive down here, and it was hilarious with some of the stories that Mullally and Hilly and Kirkpatrick talked about. But on the serious side, the training that he and Mullins put in, playing and practicing every day of the week down in Tampa, and then going on the weekends and working on the very things that they've been practicing.
Yep. They've got a pretty good game plan, day in, day out.
Trying to get out of the way of that, but Travis Nevin takes the bat through the zone. Another quick and efficient inning for Andrew Kirkpatrick. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the second. We'll go to the bottom half. We're chatting with Matt Palazzo here on the ISC Network.
Whether you want to improve your grip in wet conditions or just to find the control you've been looking for, the Gorilla Gold Grip Enhancer has become the most recommended name in softball and in every sport where grip plays an important role. Gorilla Gold is the only grip enhancement approved by the ISC, ASA, and NCAA.
My name is Michael Holobradek. I'm from Czech Republic, playing for Hill United Chiefs, and I'm using Gorilla Gold.
My name is Pablo Miglevaca from Argentina, and for every game I use Gorilla Gold.
Hola, mi nombre es Samuel Villalbazo, pitcher de la Selección de México, y en todos mis juegos uso Gorilla Grip.
Hi, I'm Adam Folker. I play for the Hill United Chiefs from Australia, and I've been using Gorilla Gold my whole life.
My name's Jack Vesco from Australia, and I can't pitch without Gorilla Gold.
Gorilla Gold, the feel for the game.
Back here on the ISC Network, Blair Setford and Matt Palazzo, the first baseman for the Circle Tap Dukes. And Matt, 7-0 win. You guys get a game off, but you're right back at it. Do you like playing 2 in a day?
We've all been there, done it, right? It's we've got a challenging task coming up after this game, and I think the boys are up for it.
Yeah, you guys are going to get the Bear Creek Express. Have you matched up with the Express? I think you played them once this year.
Yep, we played them last weekend. Good ball game. They scored a couple late, but we know what they've got. They know what we've got. Whoever can execute is going to come out on top.
You're probably going to face Sean Cleary as Riley Mannion went the distance in their 7-0 win over the Bar Buzz. What's it like facing Sean Cleary? You know he's going to be very deliberate.
Yep, and Sean has, he throws them all. He throws them all really well. He's had one of the best careers, right? He's literally one of the top few in the game. Teams don't have a ton of success on him, so we're going to have to execute. There's going to be some big 2-out scenarios, I think, with guys on base. We're going to have to come through, and, Jorge and Devo are going to have to, be at their best to hold that good lineup down.
Yeah, they've got a good hitting lineup. A couple of guys at the top of the order. Quentin Bruce has been doing very well, and putting the ball in play. Let's shift gears a little bit here as we take a look at Cole Evans, the captain of the New Zealand Black Sox, and just talk for a couple of minutes about Team USA. You guys had a great World Cup, coming away with the first medal for the U.S. team in 22 years. And you ran roughshod over New Zealand one night.
Yeah, that was it was a good It was a good event. You know, we're not satisfied with bronze, but beating Argentina in that game was a boost for our team. We've got some good talent out there. We're adding some pitching. Guys are developing well. So, and there's a lot of youth on that team. So pretty excited about where the team's going, where the program's going, and yeah, I think we're in a pretty good spot.
Cole Evans chases that pitch off the corner. That's a good pitch from Travis Nevin to get Evans, the sixth batter. Brian Avery now to the plate. We talked about Brian Avery's prowess. He smashed a massive home run back on Sunday. Big cut there. Fouls that one to the screen.
Abe's not going to get cheated very often. He's going to swing it hard.
Yeah, there's nobody up there looking to hit singles the opposite way, it seems like, in this lineup.
There's not too many guys choking up with 2 strikes either.
What's the mindset of a batter? You know your team is going to score runs. You know that you're going to get a lot of ABs. What is the work ethic that you've got to take into your approach to make sure that you have a good AB every time?
You know, it's playing with these guys, the Gremlins. It's different than playing with some other teams. There's so many veterans in there that have played at the highest level and on their national teams. And these guys, you know, I guarantee you right now, they know what pitch is coming, right? They're going to have a pick maybe in warm-ups. And so when you're there and you know what's coming and you know the next guy behind you when the pitcher peeks over and sees whoever it is, there's no break.
Yeah.
Right? He's got to come at you. And so it honestly, it's a group effort over there. They're all focused on every single pitch. It's different, but this is what they do.
This is what they do, exactly. This is almost a full-time gig for just about everybody that is involved.
Yep, a bunch of pros over there. Not to mention there's a few guys on their bench that, you know, are probably hitting in the top 4 or 5 for every other team in the tournament.
Indeed, yeah. I mean, Ladislav Malarczuk, who hit a home run, a big home run on Saturday in the rotation that they've got going, is out of the lineup. Blake Hunter doesn't hit singles. He hits doubles, triples, and home runs. As this one knocks the third baseman off his feet, but making a great throw.
He did.
Ryan Davis literally gets knocked off his feet backwards off balance. I think this swing from Brian Avery, this ball takes its time actually getting to him. It's not that hard hit. But the off-balance throw and then dug out over there by Kawagasheg. So
hang in there, made the play.
Some good defense from the Oswegan Redmond to retire Brian Avery and 2 down in the inning. I mean, Brian's hit a lot of balls hard, but that one is not going to be in his top 100.
No, and you're talking about Blake. It seems like, like you said, every time he hits a ball, it's double or it's a home run.
It's unconscious, some of the numbers that he has put up. No, not in the least. I think he's got 2 singles on the year. Everything else is extra bases. And here's another one. I think it's got a chance to the fence, and it's gone.
There it is.
Blake Hunter, another home run, puts the Gremlins up 3-0. A solo shot this time, a 2-out home run, and this guy's batting 8.
Yeah, it's everybody's talked about it, right? I mean, there's just no holes. I mean, Mully is a great hitter. And then you've got Matty. You're going to turn the lineup over, and you got to go through that gauntlet again.
Yeah,
right. It's just taxing on any pitcher.
It really is tough. And Mullins, we've often said up here that they hide Nick Mullins. There's no hiding anybody, but Nick Mullins down in the 9 hole would probably be batting either lead off or maybe 5 or 6 for anybody else that's here.
And how many walks does he take in a weekend, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and talk about his leadership. I mean, he's in a team full of leaders. I think everybody is quiet when he's talking.
Absolutely, he's been with the team for a long time. He just, that's how Mully brings that attitude to the ballpark, right? He wants to have as much fun as anybody, you know, for a short period of time after the game. But when it's go time, you know, he's a leader out there. They kind of rally behind him. Plus, he's the guy that's always kind of setting up BP. He's setting up these dinners. He does a lot behind the scenes too.
Both you and he made the transition from college baseball into fast pitch softball. And I know you've talked about this on your podcast appearances and things like that, but what was that transition like? And maybe we'll pick that up as Mullins grounds out to end the inning. Why don't we pick that up in the top coming up? The Gremlins get the home run from Blake Hunter, and they push the lead out to 3-0 through 2 complete. We'll come back. Blair Setford and Matt Palazzo on the ISC Network.
Dreamcatcher, inch by inch, we'll fight to make the lives of First Nations people in this community, this province, and on this continent better. I know we have a long way to go, but I'm proud to say as long as our people have a need, Dreamcatcher will be there for them.
Zach Green, Brendan Anderson for the This Week in Redmond, and there you've got the power bat ranking that Luciano Lafrano, our producer, put together. You see a couple of the Gremlins right at the top, and defense is something that these guys can play too. You see it there. Jerome Remeke on the fly takes that little bunt attempt away from Zach Green. And I think it's often an underrated and overlooked part of the game, not just for the Gremlins, but in particular, but across the board, how good the athletes are in our game.
Absolutely. You watch 4 or 5 games on this field, on a whatever day, and you're going to see some plays that you go, whoa.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a kid, a shortstop.
Oh, the Guatemalan shortstop, Neri Delcid Jr.
He made some
that
plays.
diving play was
it
outstanding.
Phenomenal. And just watching his, with his hands, and you just look at him and go, yeah, this guy's got it.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, there's a lot of great shortstops in the game. Cole Evans, obviously, Cam Schiller are a couple of guys that come to mind. We started to talk before the break about the transition from baseball into fast pitch. Nick Mullins done it. You've done it. There've been a number of guys across the game. But what was your journey like?
Yeah, when I got into it, I watched my dad play growing up, and I was always at the ballpark with those guys, and there was pretty good ball, around just the town. And you go to another small town, everybody had a pitcher, and they didn't have to go far. But for them to make it to the ISC, it was like a huge deal, right?
Yeah.
They'd have to win all these games and tournaments. Well, and when I got into it, it was, I could go hit 92, 95 on a baseball and a four-seamer or a cutter, and then all of a sudden this ball starts going up, and you go, what the hell? how do you make it do that? So it was definitely challenging, and I think that's kind of what drew me in. It's not like you just step in and you're, able to swing it off the big boys. So it's a transition, and that's part of the competitor and everybody, I think. Yeah,
I mean, it takes a year or two. Maybe Cam Schiller's another guy who's done that. I remember Cam's podcast saying he went to the 2015 or 2016, I guess it was 2015, the winter bracket final between the Gators and the Chiefs, and just standing behind the screen and thinking to himself, boy, I got a lot to do here. But he did it pretty quickly.
He did. Made it. It's quick, and I mean, Cam's hands are so good, right?
Yeah.
You watch him play, and he's starting to figure out pretty well. He's been a real threat right in the heart of that lineup.
To Hopper, out to Blake Hunter at second base, retires the This Week in Redmond in order. Matt, I don't know how long you can stay with us. I know you got a game coming up, and you're more than welcome to stay here. But it's been a pleasure chatting with you. And if you're staying for another inning, that's great. If you got to go, you got to go.
Yep, I'm going to go and start getting mentally prepared a little bit.
All right. Well, listen, thanks for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you up here on the ISC Network, and thanks for coming in between games.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure. All right. Thank you.
Take care, guys.
We welcome back Joe Todd into the booth, and we just had a visit from Renee Kirkpatrick. She dropped by to say hello and asked us to say hello to Linda and Al Kirkpatrick down in Australia. So, Linda and Al, thanks for joining us. I hear it's about 7:30 in the morning in Australia where you guys are. So, appreciate you joining us here on the ISC Network.
Thank you.
Matthew Waugh back to the top of the plate. And Joe, I will turn the scorekeeping duties back to you. I'm sure what's there is not as good as what you would have done, but
it'll work.
It's up to date. Matthew Waugh doubled and scored on the home run by Jerome Remeke back in the first inning. And there's a called strike. Travis Nevin keeping this offense down. Joe, he gave up the home runs, but by and large, he's been getting a mixture of infield flies and ground balls.
This is my first look at Travis Nevin.
Well, he throws hard. He just blew that one right by Matthew Waugh. You see Matty give a little nod of the head. He's got a big lean back, and he really drives forward off the board.
Yeah, he's still got the windmill operation, but it's almost like he whips it at the end. Just the release of the ball at the end is just a complete whip.
Oh, and that one drills Matty Waugh, who has been hit a lot in his games with the Oswego Redmond. He was not happy about that. Wade Kawagasheg will walk with him down towards first base. So will our first base umpire. Who do we got out there, Trevor? I'm not sure that it's.
They switched spots.
Yeah, so that is Mike Morrissey down at first. Brandon Bloom is behind the plate. And who?
Trevor.
Is Trevor over on third?
I think so. Should be.
He's over in behind second. Yes, he's moved over. So Trevor Topping and Mike Morrissey holdovers on the diamond from the previous game on the bases. And Brandon Bloom comes in to take over. So Jerome Remeke to the dish with Matthew Waugh aboard. We've seen this scenario play out a couple of times already, and this one is lashed out to deep left and gone! Jerome Remeke, opposite field on a line, clears the fence and into the trees. 2 for 2, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. Just another day at the office for Jerome Remeke. Watch this. The power in this swing.
And opposite field, too. Just drove it. Good upper body strength in the arms and the shoulders there.
Beninoka to the dish, and just that quick, it's now 5-0 for the Gremlins. Joe Out of Town scoreboard. Uma Tigre, Ostrander Norseman tied at 1 in the top of the third. HI Reapers, Niagara Stompers scoreless into the second. Tigres Norseman, that is a loser bracket elimination game. Misses downstairs to Inoka. The Reapers Stompers game is a winner bracket game. The winner of that gets the rest of the day off as the top of the bracket plays today. The bottom side of the bracket will play tomorrow. This one is lifted up down the right side, and that's going to fall in fair as nobody got to it. Josh Martin was going out and bailed. Matt Salt couldn't get to it in time, and it probably landed, Joe, I want to say about 3 inches on the grass inside the line. Beninoka thinks he's out right there. And then Salt just has it fall right in front of him, and it's a fair ball.
Great positioning there by first base umpire Mike Morrissey, too, to assist in that call.
So a break for Inoka and the Gremlins. Not that they need a break, but they got one. And Eric Ochoa to the plate. Ochoa popped up to short in his first trip, and it wasn't a routine pop-up. It was 28 feet onto the grass, and it was a backpedaling Mitch Green who made the catch. This one gets away from Mike Willis and skips out halfway back to the circle. Beninoka lopes up to second base. Nevin and Willis are two of the Nova Scotia contingent that are here. And they're going to check on Travis Nevin on the fingers, it looks like. Mike Morrissey immediately came over. Brandon Bloom comes out with Willis. And we've got Daryl Anderson coming out, and he's pulling the lineup card out of his pocket and going right to Brandon Bloom. So I think a change, Joe, is imminent. They've got some work going on down in the bullpen. That is Mike Root, I believe.
21.
Yeah, Mike Root is the designated player, so they would drop down to 9. Caleb Keishig also on the lineup card, but he pitched, seems like a week ago now that Caleb pitched in their win. Well, while this is going on, why don't we take a break, and we'll come back with likely a new pitcher. We'll see. Stay with us on the ISC Network. So Mike Root on in relief of Travis Nevin, and we think maybe a finger blister or something to that effect as he exits stage right as we look at it. And a 1-1 count for the new pitcher Mike Root, inheriting Eric Ochoa at the dish. And that's no prize whatsoever. And that one just misses high. Matt Palazzo was thinking that these yellow gloves, Joe, might be a fine.
Yeah. Pitching line for Travis Nevin, 46 pitches, 5 runs, 5 hits, 1 strikeout, 1 hit batsman. Two innings of complete work. Also responsible for Beninoka on second base.
Chopper on the infield. Mitch Green comes over and makes a good play. Beninoka, who got 4 steps off the bag and then just froze as Green circled around him. Then just easily up to third on the play. You see Benny in the background there scampering into third.
Great play by Green, though, to charge that ball and got a good arm.
Yeah, that was a real good play. The sidearm sling across the diamond. He's been a busy guy over there at shortstop, making grabs out in the grass and up against the screen. Zenon Winters drills this one to straightaway center, over the fence and gone. Zenon Winters gets into the home run parade. Now, Joe, that ball just kept going up. It was on a line and just kept going.
It's awesome show of bats here today.
It's now 7-0, and can you just see that ball just keep going? Clears the fence and on a line. Cole Evans to the dish. Cole down on strikes in his first trip. You know he'll want to get off the schneid here. He won't be happy about that. Fouls this one in and out of the glove of Mike Willis.
Gremlins had 4 home runs in their 8-0 victory over the Northwest Braves yesterday and got 4 home runs so far today.
Well, Remeke will be not too far behind Luigi Pinto in the RBI lead. Evans fouls this one off the screen. Brian Avery on deck. You see a lot of guys get down close. Avery is actually probably about 38 feet away from Evans. You wouldn't expect him to be pulling it that far foul into where Avery is, but had to get out of the way of that one. Called strike 3. Evans will turn and head back to the bench. Good pitch from Mike Root. Come back after giving up that laser beam home run to Zenon Winters. Brian Avery to the plate, grounded out to third, his last trip. Moving 4 steps behind the bag. Is that a defensive change that we didn't get over at third? Not sure if that's still Ryan Davis or not.
I think so. You have the longer hair.
Yeah, okay. But Avery had a big swing, didn't hit it as hard as the swing might have indicated, and it almost bowled Ryan Davis right over. Still able to make the play, throwing it across the diamond as he was falling backwards. Called a strike. 2-2 to Brian Avery, the right fielder for the Gremlins. Matt Palazzo said Brian can play anywhere and excel at it. Chopper in the infield again, and again it is Ryan Davis, and the casual flip to first gets them out of the inning. The Gremlins tack on 4, and they lead now 7-0 through 3 complete.
Welcome to Mont Hill Golf and Country Club. With our beautiful 27-hole golf course open to the public, we work tirelessly to ensure your time with us is second to none. Well, here you'll be able to enjoy an incredible dining experience at our very own Big Pete's Steakhouse. Play some of the best courses in the world with our state-of-the-art golf simulators. upgrade your gear with the top brands at our pro shop, or host a stunning wedding, event, or conference inside one of our beautiful ballrooms. Learn all this and more at monthill.ca. We can't wait to see you soon. Welcome to Monthill Golf and Country Club. With our
Well, there you get a peek at some of the sights and sounds here at Circle Tap for the 77th Annual ISC World Tournament. Blair Sedford, Joe Todd on the ISC Network. The New York Gremlins well out in front, 7-0 through 3 complete. Mitch Green to lead things off for the Oswego Redmond here in the top of the 4th. Mitch and Ryan Davis over on the left side of the infield have been pretty busy for Oswego on defense, and they'll try to get the Redmond started on offense.
Mitch is a multi-sport athlete, also plays very competitive senior hockey back in Southern Ontario.
Slapper on the infield, Remeke comes across 2 steps and gets a strong throw over to first to just nip Mitch Green at the wire. Watch Remeke cut across here to get this. Just by an eyelash at first base.
But at least 10 feet to his left.
Well, that's the only way they get Mitch Green, who runs very well. Mike Root has the only hit of the game for Oswego, a good solid single in the first. Swings and misses at that one from Andrew Kirkpatrick. Called a strike. Joe, it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it's probably more than a decade now that we were watching Mike Root and Caleb Kishig battle it out at the, what was then the Midget Boys Championship in Stratford, Ontario. Those two were the fireballers back in that tournament and have gone on to have pretty reasonable careers. Caleb Kishig had an outstanding 2017 with the Toronto Batmen in particular. Root, a couple years away from the game, has gotten back to it and impresses with the stick as well as pitching. Down on strikes there, unfortunately. The broadcaster's curse. The moment we start to big somebody up, usually something like that happens. Ryan Davis steps in. Ostrander has taken a 2-1 lead over the Oma Tigres. That's the bottom of the 4th. The Norsemen are the home team. Chopper on the infield. Ochoa will go get it, and he'll go step on a bag and make the final out. They're making some contact, Joe,
Yep.
but it's just right at guys.
Yeah, putting the ball in play, but that's the good defense there of the New York Gremlins coming to shine.
Well, head to the bottom of the 4th. The Gremlins up 7-0.
The New York Gremlins congratulate our own Dr. Bob Neidick on his induction to the ISC Hall of Fame as this year's recipient of the Bob Welby Memorial Recognition of Service Award. Dr. Bob is a 4-time ISC World Champ, winning his first 2 titles with the Kitchener River Shark Twins in 2008 and 2009. His second 2 came with us in 2018 and 2019, and he says, we're not done. Bob started in the game when he was 17 in Pennsylvania and played in a national championship in 1996. His first ISC World Tournament was 2004 in Fargo, North Dakota. Since 2012, he's been a Gremlins co-sponsor, and we couldn't be prouder of him to be recognized for all of his contributions to the game.
Congratulations, Dr. Bob!
Forgot to turn us on.
Back on the ISC network, Blake Hunter to lead things off in the bottom of the fourth inning for the New York Gremlins. Mike Root is on in relief of starter Travis Nevin, who exited after giving up 4 or 5, Joe?
5.
5 of the 7.
No, it's 6 of the 7, sorry, because he would be responsible for Ben and Noka's run at second base.
You're right, yep. Hunter, in and out of the glove of Mitch Green on the backhand. Blake Hunter aboard. You're going single?
Yes.
Blake doesn't hit singles, though. He only hits doubles and home runs.
Sorry, Blake. Come back.
I think Blake wowould be happier if you give him an error on that, just because he doesn't like hitting singles.
Is that a mulligan?
Yeah, we're being a little facetious. But that's testament to how great a season Blake Hunter's been having, that when he makes contact, it goes a long way, either off a fence or over it. Nick Mullins to the plate. Mullins grounded out in his first trip. Called a strike. Wayne Laulu is on deck. He'll pinch hit for Matthew Waugh, who's probably had enough of being hit by pitches.
Yes.
Mullins singles through the 5.5 hole in between short and third, and he's aboard with his first base hit of the game. It looks like we're going to get just the official notification for Wayne Laulu as Reese Casely is down in the third base box. I thought I saw Reese earlier when we had that play at the dugout that he was coaching third today. Wayne Laulu from Wellington, New Zealand, veteran in the game. First pitch swinging, high hopper. Green steps on a bag, the toss to first, and dug out, and a double play, an outstanding double play by Mitch Green.
Now batting the third baseman, number 6, Jerome.
He's really shown some flair and some style over there. You can see that play. Let's see it one more time. Steps on the bag, and then the jump throw, and they get Wayne by half a step still.
Well, it's still a tough throw because he's throwing from the bag, and his one foot is up in the air. So all that throw is with his arm and his shoulder.
Yeah, that is momentum. Jerome Remeke looks at a changeup from Mike Root, a good one. Had a notion to go, but gets the called strike. 2 for 2, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs for Jerome so far. Foul tip, and in a hole 0-2. As Matt Palazzo said, there's really no choking up with 2 strikes with the Gremlins, although I see he does have the hands quarter-inch off the knob.
The quarter.
Yeah. You can see it there, the knob just protruding down a little bit below his hands. Upstairs to Remeke. Two hopper in and out of the glove of first baseman Wade Kawagasheg. He will step on a bag, and Jerome Remeke's home run streak comes to an end. Nothing across for the Gremlins, at least on the scoreboard. 7-0 lead. Need 3 outs to finish.
Whether you want to improve your grip in wet conditions or just to find the control you've been looking for, The Gorilla Gold Grip Enhancer has become the most recommended name in softball and in every sport where grip plays an important role. Gorilla Gold is the only grip enhancement approved by the ISC, ASA, and NCAA.
Hello, my name is Michael Holobradek. I'm from Czech Republic, playing for Hill United Chiefs, and I'm using Gorilla Gold.
My name is Pablo Miguelvaca from Argentina, and for every game I use Gorilla Gold.
Hola, mi nombre es Samuel Villalbazo, pitcher de la selección de México y en todos mis juegos uso Gorilla Grip.
Hi, I'm Adam Folker. I play for the Hill United Chiefs from Australia, and I've been using Gorilla Gold my whole life.
My name's Jack Vesco from Australia, and I can't pitch without Gorilla Gold.
Gorilla Gold, the feel for the...
Matt Salt, first pitch swinging. Cole Evans on the backhand, turns and throws to first. That hop came up on Cole too, Joe. He had to bring the glove up quickly to make sure that didn't scoot by his ear.
Good eye-hand coordination there by Cole Evans, and a great arm.
Batting the first baseman, number 81, Wade Kiwagashi.
Wade Kawagashig, PA announcer, was close. That's
huh?
a tough one, and that one's right back up the middle past Andrew Kirkpatrick. Second hit of the game for the Oswegan Redmen.
I went upstairs and I tried to help him with that one.
Well, it's a tough one. I know you helped me with it the first couple of times, too. I called him Wade for 3 games. This is River Taylor, who's on batting in Travis Nevin's spot. It's a new name on the Redmond. He is a late addition to the lineup, I believe. Chops that one foul. The Redmond, an all-native team from Oswegan, Ontario, the Six Nations Reserve just outside of Brantford in southwestern Ontario. Chases downstairs. River Taylor down on strikes. The Gremlins from Clifton Park, New York. Upstate New York. Where they're based. The team is from all over. You got a couple of Canadians, a couple of Kiwis, a couple of Aussies, a couple of Americans. It truly is an international squad. They are the I in international. There's Eric Ochoa, Mexican national who's now a U.S. citizen. Swing and a miss there. Zach Green at the plate. Up and in.
Zach, the younger brother of Mitch Green. His dad is over coaching at first base.
No, that just misses outside. Joe still scoreless. HI Reapers, Niagara Stompers, Luis Amaya, Huemo Mata. It might be scoreless for a while. And Ostrander Norseman still up 2-1 on the Oma Tigre. Here, New York Gremlins, 7-0 lead over Oswegan Redmond. The walk to Zach Green. Brendan Anderson, the son of Coach Daryl Anderson. Brendan been playing the Ontario Junior Hockey League the last couple of years. Won a Memorial Cup with the Hamilton Bulldogs. And now with the Sarnia Sting, I believe.
Yes.
Swing and a miss by Brendan. About 6'4", 6'5" up there. Long, lanky young man. Was saying how when you get hit it over his head, you know you've done something out in center field.
And you put a pair of skates on Brendan, he's even 3 or 4 inches taller.
Yeah, even taller, exactly. Mom Alicia and Dad Daryl spent a lot of time traveling around Ontario. As that is lined and caught by Cole Evans. That will put a wrap on the ball game. What a great catch by Cole Evans to end it off, showing why he's right near at the top of the list for shortstops here in the ISC. The New York Gremlins, 7-0 winners in their march forward through the winners bracket. About an hour and 15 minutes, Joe. They were pretty tidy and efficient with this one. We started at 3:56, about an hour and 5 minutes, actually.
And the previous game was an hour and 17 minutes.
So I'm going to guess that we may be starting by 5:15, 5:20, because we've been going by the 15 to 20 minute rule after the end of the game. Come back with us and check on the ISC network. Coming up, Circle Tap Dukes and Bear Creek Express. The New York Gremlins, your winners here. Blair Setford for Joe Todd, Luciano Lafrano, Carol Dureste on our action camera, and our special guest today, Matt Palazzo. Thanks for joining us.
For the latest in softball innovation, the website where you can experience the best tournaments in the Americas. Live games, news, tournaments, and much, much more. The best quality live softball, on demand so you can watch when you want. Become a Premier member now, softballpremiertv.com.